traces of underground facilities. The narrative revolves around Putin's secretive underground installations. Towards the end of March 2022, two aircraft from Russia's Special Flight Detachment, directly under the command of the Russian president, engaged in unusual activity. Under normal circumstances, these planes shuttled between Moscow, St. Petersburg, and Sochi. However, their recent flights took a different route. Merely a month after the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, RA-61716 made a single trip to Yekaterinburg and two to Ufa, while RA-96017 also visited Yekaterinburg and then Magnitogorsk. The timing of these flights to the eastern cities during the initial stages of the Ukrainian invasion raised eyebrows. It coincided with Russia's realization that the conflict wouldn't be swift. Speculations arose about whether these flights were part of a larger-scale drill in anticipation of a prolonged war, or if certain politicians had undisclosed agendas. What added to the intrigue was the geographic location of these cities. Positioned amidst Ufa, Yekaterinburg, and Magnitogorsk is an open secret: the towering Yamantau mountain in the southern Urals. Rumored to house a massive underground bunker tailored for Russia's political elite, it added a layer of mystery to the situation: the enigma of Yamantau. During the era of the Cold War, the Soviet regime mobilized legions of laborers to construct subterranean bunkers. Drawing from insights provided by a senior American nuclear security expert, documentation and accounts from high-ranking Strategic Air Command (SAC) officers unveiled the existence of the Yamantau Command Center nestled within a mountain of rock and quartz, approximately 900 meters beneath the summit. This facility served as a military stronghold intended for the relocation of the upper echelons of Russian political leadership. While the precise architecture of this bunker remains shrouded in secrecy, comparisons can be drawn to known American bunker schematics. Drawing upon blueprints of the Cheyenne Mountain complex, one might envision a command center, provisions for fuel and water storage, alongside operational rooms for military endeavors. Yet, Yamantau stands apart due to the substantial presence of quartz within the mountain, impeding communication by disrupting radio signals. If this expansive subterranean complex fails to facilitate effective communication channels between Russia's political elite and their armed forces, what alternate purposes might it serve? Following the conclusion of the Cold War, Yamantau was deemed abandoned, marking the end of limitless communist funding. However, Yamantau retains its significance. In the 1900s, American surveillance satellites detected renewed activity in the area, indicating Russian efforts to revitalize the site. More than 3 decades later, speculation suggests that construction efforts are intensifying. Adjacent to Yamantau lies the restricted military zone of Mezguya. Resulting from the amalgamation of two military encampments, Mezguya remains off-limits to ordinary Russian citizens. In April 2021, residents of Mezguya were taken aback by an unexpected development. Reports from a Ufa-based newspaper detailed the arrival of a convoy comprising at least 19 heavy construction vehicles, bearing license plates registered in Moscow. The local municipal administration, when approached by the newspaper, disclosed that these vehicles were dispatched to bolster the infrastructure of Upravlenie Stratizva No. 30. Upravlenie Stratizva No. 30 specializes in heavy construction endeavors, including the construction of extensive underground complexes. However, they refrained from divulging specifics regarding the expansion's purpose, as projects undertaken by the Upravlenie Stratizva No. 30 fall under the direct purview of the Ministry of Defense. Concurrently, in April 2021, military convoys converged upon Mezguya, while thousands of Russian troops were mobilized near the Ukrainian border. Months later, segments of the presidential fleet embarked on unanticipated journeys to cities within the vicinity, further fueling speculation. Putin's residence. In early 2021, Navalny unveiled an exposé concerning a lavish estate nestled in the shores of the Black Sea. Financed by public funds, this sprawling complex stands as a covert mega-facility tailored for Putin's exclusive utilization. Navalny's findings included detailed blueprints, laying bare a structure that commands as much awe below ground as it does above. Hidden beneath the surface of Putin's residence lie an intricate network of tunnels and a colossal elevator, outfitted with essential amenities such as ventilation, sewage systems, and utilities for fresh water and electricity. The leaked schematic of the elevator's cross-section reveals a series of ventilation ducts, hinting at their potential dual function as emergency ventilation routes in the event of an attack. While the capacity of these subterranean passageways to withstand a modern nuclear assault remains uncertain, their construction boasts formidable defenses, boasting walls fortified with 38 centimeters of concrete. Furthermore, intriguingly, these structures were erected by US-30, the same entity associated with the enigmatic Yamantau complex. US-30 operates under the jurisdiction of the MDSP, the primary directorate overseeing special projects sanctioned by the President of the Russian Federation. This government body holds the responsibility of orchestrating the construction of fortified shelters, led by none other than Alexander Lenitz, a figure of profound trust within Putin's inner circle. Lenitz, a former regional chief of the FSB, successor to the KGB, assumed leadership of the MDSP in 2015. His close ties with Putin were underscored in 2020 when public records revealed his acquisition of a luxurious 177 square meter apartment in Moscow, a gesture emblematic of Putin's esteem and confidence in Lenitz. The Kremlin's deference towards Lenitz underscores his significance, given his oversight not only of projects linked to the Yamantau complex and Putin's residence, but also of bunkers situated directly within Russia's capital city. Connections to Moscow State University. Adjacent to Moscow State University lies a desolate, underutilized plot of land, a perplexing sight considering its prime location in proximity to the capital's most esteemed academic institution. However, in 2017, following directives straight from the president, the process of development commenced on this previously neglected parcel. Leading the change in this endeavor is Katerina Tikhanova, a professional dancer with master's degrees in both mathematics and physics. Tikhanova assumes the helm of the Inno-Practica Foundation, intricately linked to the transformation of the land adjoining Moscow State University. Under the auspices of her foundation, plans are underway to fashion this space into an innovative science park for the university. Interestingly, Tikhanova also happens to be Putin's daughter, adding a familial dimension to the project. Moreover, the land earmarked for development, overseen in part by an organization with familial ties to the president, boasts a complex ownership structure. Partial ownership rests within Transnistria, also known as TIS, a construction entity comprising members of the MDSP. Noteworthy is the fact that TIS, led by a former chief of US-30, operates under stringent regulations, necessitating direct approval from the MDSP for engagements with foreign entities. Renowned for its expertise in subterranean construction, TIS's involvement adds a layer of intrigue to the ongoing development efforts. This seemingly ordinary plot of land, now under the purview of Putin's daughter's foundation, is rumored to conceal a sprawling leadership bunker, reportedly spanning depths of 200 to 300 meters and capable of accommodating up to 10,000 occupants. Underground facilities in Moscow. Similar to Yamantau, the Soviets demonstrated remarkable ingenuity in constructing extensive underground bunker networks in Moscow. Remarkably, the city's existing metro system possesses the capability to transform into a makeshift shelter for civilians, accommodating a portion of Moscow's populace for several days if need be. Take for instance the Belaruskaya metro station. Upon descent, travelers encounter a profound underground station designed to serve as a dual-purpose bunker. Yet, amidst the station's expanse, one may stumble upon a recently refurbished statue paying homage to the Soviet Republic of Belarus. Positioned adjacent to this statue are two nondescript gray doors, concealing a hidden realm beyond. Originally commissioned for the USSR Ministry of Communication, an expansive restricted bunker is seamlessly integrated with the Belaruskaya metro station. Accessible via an external structure, this fortified complex operates as a resilient command center, designated solely for employment by Russia's military and political elite. Presently, the condition of this bunker is decrepit and unsuitable for utilization, reflecting a common trend among such constructions. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs similarly boasted its own bunker, while declassified imagery unveils grander designs for additional subterranean complexes that could be retrofitted onto Moscow's existing metro infrastructure. Yet, unlike Belaruskaya and the disclosed schematics, certain underground bunkers within Moscow remain shrouded in secrecy, evading public scrutiny. The Metro 2 intrigue. On November 17, 2015, Pavel Safronov, a Moscow urban explorer, was detained by the FSB. Just a year prior, Pavel and his companions had ventured through what they believed to be the clandestine Metro 2 tunnel system for a staggering 3 days. Speculation abounds regarding Metro 2, purportedly a covert subterranean transit network linking the Kremlin to an extensive underground bunker complex, purportedly situated adjacent to Moscow State University, the very land currently under development. Accounts from the exploration party describe tunnels stretching hundreds of meters in length and towering 25 meters in height, albeit many lay abandoned and in disrepair. However, Pavel also claimed to have stumbled upon a sealed entrance connecting directly to the Kremlin. Despite the intriguing tales, these accounts remain hearsay, lacking concrete evidence of extensive utilization at the time of Pavel's excursion. Nevertheless, Pavel's arrest on charges of divulging state secrets followed Russia's annexation of Crimea in late 2014, casting a shadow over the incident. However, this narrative offers limited insight into the bunker near MSU. Ultimately, the specifics of the Ramanki bunker remain elusive, as do the full extent of subterranean networks and bunkers throughout Moscow. The involvement of Putin's daughter in a significant infrastructure project, potentially erected atop a vast leadership bunker, could be construed as coincidental, particularly amid heightened security concerns for the president's family. Yet, such conjecture remains speculative, given the paucity of concrete information available. The enigmatic Altai. Putin remains an enigmatic figure, as do the bunkers associated with him and his nation. Case in point, nestled near the Altai Mountains lies a secluded compound, shielded from public view. Originally constructed by Gazprom as an opulent retreat, it has also served as a venue for Putin's state engagements. At first glance, the compound appears unremarkable, a sturdy structure alongside a vast river, surrounded by sparse insulary buildings. However, the defining feature of Altai lies in its transformer station. Unlike typical stations powering a few structures, this station boasts capacity fit for a small city, a fact that has raised eyebrows. Speculation has swirled, fueled by assertions from a Russian professor suggesting that elements of the president's family may seek refuge in Altai, accompanied by an undisclosed, highly sophisticated bunker. While such claims hint at substance behind the conjecture, the logistics of constructing and concealing such a facility raise skepticism. After all, the excavation process inevitably leaves traces, prompting questions about the feasibility of erecting an entire subterranean metropolis without detection. Yet, whether Altai, Yamantau, Putin's personal residence, or sites proximate to Moscow State University, the true extent and intrigue of these bunkers remain elusive. It's tempting to envision grandiose subterranean cities, orchestrated by an imperceptible political machinery. However, reality may paint a more modest picture: concrete chambers with peeling paint. Much like the Russian state itself, the truth likely lies somewhere in the middle, a blend of mystery and tangibility, order and chaos, strength and vulnerability. If you like this video, click the next one shown on the screen. I'm sure you'll like it. Thanks for watching.